See, they have to come out swinging against giants like NRG here today. I think there's a lot of people who look at Renegades to do that here as a good shot here as Justin's going to put it away.
I mean, that dictation of pace right up towards the corner, that's an easy pass out for Squishy. And we talked about his presence towards the backboard. You have to shut him down early. If you don't, Justin will be in a position to capitalize, slots in.
And you talked about the demos here before we got into game. Fever now 2 in the last 30 seconds. Is a good touch here from Fever. Here comes the shot from Kami, and Renegades on the board.
Sometimes the ball just bounces your way, and you need to be in a position to at least capitalize on a touch like this. It's Fever who opens it up, and Kami with the connection, securing it. Nicely done on the rotation. Renegade going to be the third man back as goalie. So if you know this as NRG, you take advantage of the gaps, and more importantly, that demo starts to open it up. It's Garrett with a free goal. NRG with the lead right back.
And who was that on the goal line for Renegades? Just a huge whiff from Kami there. Not able to get the touch. And an open net for Garrett G. You know NRG is going to take advantage of that. And Renegades are better for it, but they're down by 1. And here comes Justin. A flip reset surely inbound, and he will get it. It'll be on target, and he beats the defense. NRG up by 2.
I mean, those might be those small mistakes you can't make on the defensive end, but you give a tip of the cap to Justin for this hold. The reset and the fake, just in case, holds it long enough.
The play style has changed, and NRG have just locked you down. If you're Renegades, they're not able to get out.
With one final push downfield, we'll call it a doggy bag goal if it goes in. Regardless, the General NRG take game number 1. Down by Fever, and yet more extra numbers here for Renegades. So nobody's ball before Garrett takes the call instead. A little hesitation. Oh, Garrett, you cheeky boy. 1-0 lead for General.
And CJ surely not happy with that challenge. A little backflip as he whipped around. He got bumped, actually. That's what happened, is he got bumped. He didn't backflip, and Garrett will take advantage.
1-goal lead, but they'll take that over 2.
And they'll take that clear, but it's right back into their box. Garrett trying to find Justin. He's going to drop it down. Here comes Garrett. He'll bounce it over, and NRG 2 up.
We talk about the offensive rebounds. Garrett flying upfield, but Justin sets it up perfectly. The slow roller around the rim, and Garrett G does what he does best.
From NRG, they've done a great job of controlling the ball off the sidewall, as you can see there from Justin. And even on the initial clear, it's still dangerous for NRG as it's 3-0 up.
I mean, this is Justin getting a demo through the corner. Squishy falls back in rotation and immediately picks up the read, bounces it off the ceiling. We'll count that as this is a Harlem Globetrotter attempt. Slow roller around the bend, but nicely handled and easily taken away. The General back to midfield.
That's a double demo from Justin, and here's some space for Garrett. Open net. NRG puts away their 4th.
That counterattack is lethal, and it's been hiding all game. Finally, it comes out, and the full moon for NRG is once again present.
That's his 3rd. A hat trick here for Garrett.
If Garrett puts another one in, it's a tough regain, but for Renegades, you're not out of the series by any stretch, but it's going to take a hard regain and a quick reset if they want to get back in this.
Only 2 shots from Renegades. I mean, just to put that in perspective, CJC.
Establishment of dominance from NRG early on, saying, we don't care where you are on the field, we're going to challenge and get possession right back. It's so frustrating for Renegades, but they're not out of it just yet. They're not out of it by any stretch. CJ opens it up for the first time.
CJ getting on the board here for Renegades, and they're finally showing that offense. Just quicker to the ball here. Garrett not able to get the read in the first 6 seconds.
Really easier to work ahead once you have something to show for it. So far, Renegades are reading it quite nice, but Squishy on the breakaway. See ya! Squishy puts it through for a tie game.
And the response coming out from the General, and that's a great clear over to Squishy with space and nobody there to challenge. I mean, of course, the last defender's there, but not going in time, and you know Squishy's going to being a playmaker for NRG, setting up his teammates. You think back to the point man play where he just picked it up. Here comes Squishy. He'll just put it away. He doesn't need anyone else. He'll take a shot. And is that a smile from Squishy Muffins? I think so.
This is my ball, and I shall name it Squishy. Look how far it goes into the corner. Oh my word, NRG. Still leave one player from NRG escaping upfield with possession and winning a 1-on-1 or a 1-on-2. Garrett's still in position. Back to Squishy. It's so difficult to stop Corelli.
It so is. You know why? Because you've got players chasing after it. Squishy landing. He'll just get a piece of Kami as well, and it will be Garrett G to put it.
Renegades writing their story so far this weekend. Now need a goal with a backflip to CJ. Right back the 1-2. Wow. Finally, we get a response.
Look at the plays coming out from Renegades. And this is what I've been talking about, Spaceman. This is the threat of Renegades. And that's the offense that I expected throughout this series. This was perfectly on page with everyone else. Everyone was... Oh my, what a touch there from Garrett. And Renegades really can't let another one in. Garrett will sneak it by. A little cheeky touch past the defense, and they're back up by 2.
I mean, you just can't forget about Garrett when he's pushed upfield. I don't care if it looks like he's rotating back into the play, going back for boost to midfield. You always have to account for someone from NRG to take a shot. Situations like that for Renegades just can't happen.
Now Renegades back on the back foot. Coming up on halftime, maybe one here off the crossbar. CJ will put it home, and boy, do we have another game.
Well, it keeps going back and forth yet again. One more goal for Renegades, and so far they have exploded into this game number 3. Backs against the wall in this series.
Renegades is challenging. It's just Squishy's reading the play perfectly and saying, okay, if you're not going to challenge, I'll take it down and try to either control or pitch it. Garrett, shocked that that one got in for NRG. 1:07 left on the clock, and he just threw it downfield. The last man in Renegades, CJ not able to get there, and Renegades down by 2. Renegades not able to catch back up, and NRG holding on.
It all came down to Garrett making a couple of huge plays downfield. The captain catapults his team into a 3-0 sweep against Renegades. Yet again, an impressive performance from the NRG.
7 goals out of the 12 scored by Garrett G here against Renegades. The ball finally hits the ground. GG's all around come out, and the general back to form.
Didn't really feel like NRG broke a sweat too much in that series, and maybe that is the best case scenario for the general, but for Renegades, a lot to learn from that loss, but a little bit of disappointment as well. It seemed like finally they were